Hello everyone, 2024 is a monumental year for India, and we're all keenly aware of the reason. It marks an electrifying political season over the next 5 months. As the general election month draws nearer, India is poised to experience an unprecedented political showdown. Political entities are investing heavily in marketing, shaping narratives, playing the blame game, and hurling accusations. Yet, in the midst of this tumult, the critical question remains: how do we, as the electorate, accurately assess a political party's performance? Specifically, in 2024, how should we evaluate the BJP's tenure? It's noteworthy that the BJP, like any incumbent party, evokes sharply divided opinions. While the opposition accuses the BJP of failing India, the party itself asserts its role in steering India towards becoming an economic powerhouse. Therefore, the pivotal question is, has the BJP lived up to its promise of "Achhe Din"? To uncover the truth, we delved into numerous reports and statistics and scrutinized the BJP's entire manifesto, examining every promise they committed to in writing. This allows us to present an impartial view of the BJP's performance in comparison to the UPA era. In this episode, I'll guide you through this comprehensive research to address 4 key questions. What specific commitments did the BJP make in their 2019 manifesto under the banner of "Achhe Din" for Indians? How many of these commitments have they actually realized? Which promises remain unfulfilled? And finally, is the economic situation genuinely improving or deteriorating compared to the UPA period? We'll begin with the first question. What were the exact promises made by the BJP in 2019, and to what extent have they been fulfilled? The best resource for understanding this analysis is their 45-page manifesto, encompassing all their commitments. For simplicity, we've categorized them into 5 areas: security, agriculture, economy, infrastructure, and social indicators. Progress in health, inclusive development, culture, and governance can be found not in this video but in the accompanying document below. Within these categories, I'll discuss the most crucial promises and provide an exclusive document in the description, containing comprehensive data on the BJP's achievements for each milestone. This enables you to independently review and form an educated opinion on the BJP's performance. Let's begin our exploration, starting with security. This was arguably one of the BJP's most significant promises. To elaborate, the BJP pledged in its manifesto a robust emphasis on national security and domestic law enforcement, committing to a zero-tolerance approach to terrorism and extremism. A key component of their pledge was to bolster Jammu and Kashmir's security and the revocation of Article 370. Indeed, they fulfilled this by abrogating Article 370. Looking at national data, between 2004 and 2013, India witnessed 9,321 terrorist attacks, which dramatically reduced to 2,132 incidents from 2014 to August 2022. This translates to a 77% drop in terrorist incidents. In Kashmir, the incidents reduced by 32%, from 959 to 654, accompanied by a 14% decrease in civilian fatalities. These figures suggest that the BJP has effectively enhanced security against terrorism and external threats, a fact prominently highlighted by the BJP and Prime Minister Modi. However, in the midst of this acclaim, a critical aspect seems overlooked: internal security. Here, I'd like to pose a respectful inquiry to the government regarding Manipur. While it wasn't included in their manifesto, Manipur remains an integral part of India. Yet, when unrest engulfed Manipur, the BJP's response appeared delayed. It's worth noting that the militant groups in Manipur have now surrendered to the Indian army. So, in terms of internal security, has the BJP truly succeeded? If a state within the country experiences turmoil for an entire month, it raises questions about the BJP's success in this area. Furthermore, in 2019, the BJP committed to modernizing and enhancing police efficiency, allocating over 18,000 crores for this purpose. However, as of 2022, India's police-public ratio is at 152.4 per lakh people, falling short of the United Nations' recommended 222 policemen per lakh people. Astonishingly, many police stations still lack basic amenities like vehicles and telephones. As of 2020, 6 years into BJP's governance, out of 16,833 police stations, 257 lacked a vehicle, 638 lacked telephones, and 143 were without wireless or mobile communication. Data for 2023 remains elusive. According to the National Crimes Record Bureau, crimes against women increased from approximately 2.44 lakh cases in 2012 to around 4.28 lakhs in 2021, marking a 42.96% rise since the BJP assumed power. While policing and public order are state responsibilities, examining BJP-governed states like MP and Haryana reveals an increase in crime rates, including crimes against women. This raises the question, how was the substantial budget of 18,636 crores spent or utilized? Unfortunately, we lack a clear answer, highlighting an unfulfilled promise. On the other hand, the BJP's vow for self-reliance and increased export capability in defense has seen remarkable progress, with defense exports escalating tenfold since 2016-17, now reaching about 85 countries. In this regard, the BJP has excelled. Regarding their commitment to combating left-wing extremism, we were unable to source data to evaluate progress. Lastly, the BJP aimed to tackle infiltration and illegal immigration through the National Registry of Citizens, or NRC. This led to widespread protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act, raising further questions about this initiative. These key promises and achievements are the focal points of the BJP's agenda regarding security in India. Additionally, the detailed status of other security-related commitments is provided in the attached document. It's evident that while the BJP has excelled in enhancing external security, significant improvements are needed in internal law and order. If this overview is clear, let's turn our attention to the state of agriculture in India under BJP rule. The BJP, led by Prime Minister Modi, pledged to double farmers' incomes by 2022, a critical promise since over a fifth of rural households dependent on agriculture were living below the poverty line. The question arises, has there been a real increase in farmers' incomes, considering inflation? From 2005 to 2012, real farmer income grew by 7.5%. However, between 2012 to 2016, the increase was a mere 0.44%, and from 2016 to 2021, there was actually a decrease of 1.5%. Factors like droughts, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and COVID-19 have been influential in this context. The BJP also aimed to establish a widespread warehouse network, crucial for India as the third largest producer of food grains. Despite this, as of 2021, the country faces a substantial shortage in storage capacity, with only 53% of annual grain production being accommodated. This has resulted in significant post-harvest losses. Additionally, the party promised to digitize land records, with 94% of this task completed and expected to be fully done by March 31st. Under the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, 47.46% of irrigation projects have been finished. Furthermore, the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana, a pension scheme for small and marginal farmers, has seen registration by 1.9 million people. Out of 7 agricultural promises made by the BJP, 3 have been fulfilled, while 4 are partially fulfilled or unfulfilled. For the Indian economy, let's evaluate the BJP's performance using 6 indicators: GDP growth, inflation, fiscal deficit, FDI, debt to GDP ratio, and revenue receipts to interest payments, comparing UPA's and NDA's tenures. Despite challenges like the Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19, the Modi government has managed to keep inflation at an average of 5.1%, within RBI's recommended range. However, fiscal deficit performance worsened during Modi 2.0, primarily due to these crises. FDI inflow has been robust under the Modi government, significantly higher than during the UPA regime. The public debt to GDP ratio, however, has seen a concerning increase, necessitating careful management. Finally, the government's expenditure on interest payments is considerably high, consuming a significant portion of its revenue, which is a matter of concern. Next, let's delve into the BJP's flagship initiative, Make in India, and its impact. The primary goal of the Make in India initiative was to boost manufacturing to 25% of GDP by 2022 and to create 100 million jobs. However, as shown in this chart, the manufacturing sector's contribution to GDP has not only failed to reach this target but has actually declined from 15% to just over 13%. Surprisingly, while 51 million Indians were working in manufacturing in fiscal year 2016-17, this number plummeted by 46% to 27.3 million by 2020-2021, right before the pandemic. In contrast, employment in agriculture increased from 145.6 million in 2016-17 to 151.8 million in 2020-2021. Similarly, the services sector saw employment rise from 119.7 million to 127 million during the same period. Despite the success of initiatives like the mobile PLI schemes in boosting exports, there is still a significant journey ahead. Thus, the pressing question is, how can we boost job creation in the manufacturing sector? Evidently, Make in India has not been as triumphant as anticipated, although other sectors have witnessed job growth. I am still evaluating which approach is more effective, but feel free to share your views in the comments. Now, let's shift our focus to the BJP's promises and accomplishments in the infrastructure sector. This is critical to examine because Prime Minister Modi and the BJP are often portrayed as champions of rapid and grand infrastructure development. But is this reality or just smart marketing? To discern the truth, we'll assess the progress in road, rail, and port infrastructure. Starting with roads, the government aimed to construct 60,000 kilometers of national highways over 5 years and planned to double the length by 2022. According to official records, 50,000 kilometers of national highways were added between 2014 and 2023, raising the total to 145,155 kilometers from 97,833 kilometers. This represents a 50% increase in national highways over 9 years. Moreover, the pace of construction has been remarkable, escalating from 12.1 km per day in 2014-15 to an impressive 28.6 km per day in 2021-2022. Although the target of doubling has not been fully met, the substantial progress in construction speed and volume is notable. The government is committed to expanding the national highway network to 2 lakh kilometers by 2025. A notable achievement in this regard is the National Highways Authority of India, NHAI, setting a world record by constructing a 75-kilometer stretch of continuous bituminous concrete road between Amravati and Akola. In the realm of railways, the government's goal was to electrify all railway tracks by 2022. By March 31, 2023, 58,812 kilometers, or 90% of the broad gauge network, had been electrified. Remarkably, since 2014, 37,011 kilometers have been electrified, with half of this progress occurring in the past 5 years. The government also pledged to complete the eastern and western dedicated freight corridors by 2022, along with modernizing railway stations. Currently, the eastern dedicated freight corridor is fully operational, and approximately 70% of the western corridor is ready for use. Additionally, many railway stations have been upgraded with Wi-Fi facilities, enhancing passenger convenience. This summarizes the advancements in railways under the BJP government. Turning to ports, the BJP's commitment was to double India's port capacity within 5 years. This goal has been achieved, with the capacity of major ports nearly doubling from about 8,710 lakh tons to over 16,100 lakh tons annually. Furthermore, the turnaround time for vessels has significantly reduced over the past decade, with large vessels now averaging less than 24 hours compared to the previous 42 hours. These are some of the key infrastructure promises made by the BJP. Additionally, the party aimed to connect every Gram Panchayat with high-speed optical cable by 2022. However, due to challenges like COVID-19, the new target is 2025. Regarding renewable energy, the BJP set a goal of 175 gigawatts by 2022, and as of that year, 69% of this target has been met. The promise of piped water to every home by 2024 is 72% complete as of December 2023. However, in terms of metro connectivity, only 22 cities have metro services against the promised 50. On the social front, the BJP aimed to provide Pakka houses for everyone by 2022. As of January 6, 2023, 72% of the 2.94 crore targeted houses in rural areas have been completed, but only 51% of the urban target has been met. Although the party promised 100% LPG coverage, the 5th National Family Health Survey, 2019-2021, showed only 56.2% of households using LPG or PNG as primary cooking fuel. The BJP's plan to connect every house with electricity saw an increase from 53% to 86% among the poorest 20% of households over 5 years, with 19 states and union territories exceeding 95% as of 2020-2021. Regarding financial inclusion, the BJP had promised to open bank accounts of every citizens, and cherry on the cake, 78% of Indians over 15 years old had a bank account by 2021, and 95.4% of surveyed households had access to a toilet. These were also some of the promises made by the BJP government. Regarding poverty reduction, the UNDP estimates India's poverty rate at 10%. However, this figure is debatable due to different poverty line definitions. The international poverty line is $2.15, and UNDP considers those living below $1.25 a day as impoverished. In Indian terms, this is less than 150 rupees per day, raising questions about the practicality of surviving on such an income in India. Lastly, the BJP fulfilled its promise of passing the Women's Reservation Bill. This outlines the BJP's performance after 9 years in power. Lastly, let's address another key promise from the BJP, the Ram Mandir issue. Some argue that the government should prioritize the economy over religious matters like temples and mosques. However, I believe this perspective overlooks an essential aspect of India's identity. India is renowned for its rich cultural and spiritual heritage. Despite varying levels of religious connection among the modern generation, a significant portion of Indians remain deeply religious and spiritual. Therefore, it is part of the government's responsibility to respond to the people's expectations and desires. A substantial segment of the Indian population sought a resolution to the Ram Mandir issue, with the aspiration of returning the land to the Hindu community for the construction of a temple. In a country where freedom of religion is a right, even atheists who acknowledge the importance of addressing everyone's sentiments must consider the beliefs and wishes of religious people. I commend the BJP for fulfilling this promise. The Supreme Court's verdict was in favor of constructing the Ram Mandir, and the process has been progressing swiftly under the BJP government. In contrast, during Congress rule, there were efforts to oppose this outcome. It's important to remember that being religious isn't inherently negative. In fact, India's rich cultural and religious heritage played a significant role in its historical prominence. Unfortunately, it seems the modern generation is drifting away from these Indian traditions towards Western influences. But it's crucial to recognize that religious belief cannot be mandated. Additionally, it's worth noting that the BJP, despite its Hindutva ideology, appears to cater to people of all religions. Other political parties, while claiming to be inclusive, often show bias towards specific communities. This was evident in recent statements by Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal, urging the Muslim community to vote in a certain way. If other parties predominantly support one community, the Hindu majority may feel their only option is the BJP, which at least speaks for them. While I have my own critiques of the BJP's approach towards the Hindu community, it's apparent that they're currently the most viable option for them. This is especially true considering the former Congress Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's stance on prioritizing certain communities for resources. Advocate J. Sai Deepak rightly points out the importance for Hindu voters to consider which party aligns with their interests and developmental goals. In conclusion, while no party is perfect, and my support is not blindly aligned with any one party or leader, I currently view Narendra Modi and the BJP as the best available option. It's important to acknowledge that the BJP has addressed issues across communities, like tackling the instant triple talaq issue among Muslim women, without showing overt bias towards a particular religion. I'm not advocating blindly for the BJP, I'm recognizing the actions they've taken. In my view, there isn't a better alternative to Modi as Prime Minister at the moment. However, I'm open to considering other candidates if they demonstrate greater potential. So, that's my perspective for today. If you found this discussion valuable, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.